Tropical storm. Ernesto pummeled Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands early Wednesday, unleashing torrential rain and damaging winds that triggered urgent flash flood warnings as over 500,000 people lost power throughout the territory. As of 8 a.m. ET, Ernesto was located 125 miles northwest of San Juan, Puerto Rico, with sustained winds of 70 meters per hour, closing in on the 74 meter per hour threshold for a hurricane, according to the National Hurricane Center. Forecasters say the storm is expected to develop into a hurricane Wednesday morning as it moves further into warm Atlantic waters. The National Hurricane Center said both the U.S. and British Virgin Islands were likely to receive 4 to 6 inches of rain, and the total for southeastern Puerto Rico was forecast at 6 to 8 inches, with a maximum of 10. The heavy rain triggered a slew of flash flood warnings across Puerto Rico early Wednesday as wind gusts reached up to 86 meters per hour. Besides closing schools and asking the public to stay at home, officials in Puerto Rico, home to more than 3 million American citizens, activated the National Guard and opened shelters Tuesday. Flights at Luis Muñoz Marine International Airport in San Juan, Puerto Rico, were canceled by their respective airlines. On Tuesday, President Biden approved an emergency declaration for Puerto Rico, ordering the federal government to assist in local response efforts.
Heavy rain led to widespread flooding across eastern Massachusetts Tuesday. The storm led to one confirmed tornado in Mattapoisett after 3 tornado warnings were issued by the National Weather Service. About half a dozen drivers, including commercial vehicles, were stranded after getting stuck under a flooded overpass on Route 9 in Natick by the Route 27 overpass. The vehicles were eventually removed, and the water receded. I was driving and I saw some cars go through it. I thought mine was going to be able to go through. It stuck. Water started coming in. They need to close these streets off. This is ridiculous, one man told WBZ-TV while the road was still flooded. Millis reported street flooding after several inches of rain fell in about 45 minutes, and Wellesley police said numerous roads and homes were flooded. A North Andover police spokesman said there is massive road flooding in town. Stranded vehicles were also reported on flooded roads in Everett, Newton, and Needham. According to the Needham Police Department, multiple buildings in town were evacuated. A woman was driving her SUV in Lawrence when she became stuck. A tow truck driver entered the water to remove the vehicle, and the water was up to his waist. The parking garage at Davis Square in Somerville flooded. A WBZ-TV viewer said water was up to her ankles and that some cars had water up to the tops of their tires. Logan Airport reported delays of about an hour on average. After 2 tornadoes touched down on Tuesday, there will be yet another twister threat on Thursday for southeastern Massachusetts. According to the National Weather Service, there is some potential for an isolated tornado in the same areas that saw them on Tuesday. A brief tornado hit Mattapoisett on the south coast, and then a twister touched down in Barnstable on Cape Cod. It should be a similar setup as we saw on Tuesday, but that doesn't mean it will necessarily pan out in the same way. Bill Leatham, meteorologist at the National Weather Service's Boston office, told the Herald ahead of Thursday. The combination of this tropical environment and spin in the atmosphere can bring the risk for brief tornadoes, he added. The risk is there, and we'll be monitoring it later on Thursday. So far this year, 4 tornadoes have been confirmed in the Bay State, doubling the annual average of 2 tornadoes. The Tuesday tornadoes in Mattapoisett and Barnstable took down trees and wires. Witnesses described a chaotic event, observing airborne fence posts and branches, reads the NWS damage survey in Barnstable. Other recent years have been very active when it comes to tornadoes. In 2021, 6 tornadoes were confirmed in Massachusetts, and 7 twisters touched down in 2018. In addition to the tornado threat on Thursday, more heavy rain could again lead to flooding. Several inches of rain drenched the region on Tuesday, sparking flooding and causing vehicles to get stuck in floodwaters.